誰にも言わないよ。何？ 私はエルです。
L revealing himself to Light was one of the most crucial parts of his plan to corner Light, yet it doesn't get much attention. Many people seem to believe it was either a gamble played by L or a plot convenience, when in reality it has multiple layers. The move L made wasn't a risky one or something he did just because he felt silly. Instead, it was a continuation of his previous deductions. After seeing the success of his fake L trap, it became obvious that his deductions were in fact correct. So L laid out his strategy, which would help him further profile Kira and put pressure on him. In this video, we are going to analyze the strategy L used to psychologically trap Light, gain insight, and understand why it was crucial to his plans. Self-revelation is a strategy that involves initially well-aligned and well-paced tactics L employs to corner Light. A good example of this can be found in Chapter 19 where L reveals his identity to Light. This revelation puts significant psychological pressure on Light because, as L anticipated, Kira would never expect L to reveal himself, especially since L has the most knowledge of Kira's abilities. By revealing his identity, L signals that he may have something prepared to capture Light, forcing Light to act differently from how he expects L's understanding of Kira's behavior. Light must tread carefully as any misstep could arouse suspicion. Light also faces limitations that make killing L impossible at this point. If Light were to kill this L, whether he is the real one or a stand-in, Light would still be arrested. Else that, even under usual circumstances, would inevitably draw attention, especially since he revealed himself to Light specifically, meaning Al takes no risk in revealing his identity while Light is subjected to constant pressure. The strength of this tactic lies in Al's awareness of his position and identity. He knows how securely he has hidden his true self, and even if Light attempts something unexpected, it would ultimately fall back on him. As a result, Light is forced to play into L's hand to avoid suspicion, undermining his own ideology of being the god of the new world. This tactic diminishes Light's image of power. Not only is this so-called god powerless against the one he wishes to eliminate, but he also becomes a pawn in L's hand. This strategy continued during their tennis match. While the match itself is mentally exhausting for both, Light suffers more due to the constant psychological pressure. Throughout the game, Light remains preoccupied with the thought of what strategy or tactic L might have prepared. He reasons that the match might be another of L's tests to corner him. Light is at a disadvantage because he has no concrete understanding of L's personality or reasoning, leaving him to overthink and analyze every action. L, on the other hand, is calm and calculative, having anticipated everything about the match and Light's likely behavior. For L, it's not about winning or losing, but about keeping Light trapped in his own thoughts, cycling through worries, doubts, and fears. The entire match's fast-paced offensive nature was partially indicative of the mental battle going on between them, one that L was more equipped and experiencing. L knows Light will exhaust himself physically and mentally as he tries to make sense of the situation while avoiding suspicion. At the end of the match, L plays his ace, the notes. These are the same notes that Kira wrote for L, so Light deducing the meaning behind those messages would interest him, as any flaw in the reasoning could provide some insight. But L anticipates that Light will attempt to craft a plausible explanation to make it appear as though he deduced the notes naturally. To trap Light further, L introduced a fabricated note. Light cannot outright just say it's a fake one, because doing so would expose prior knowledge of Kira's notes. And how would Light be aware of the notes which Kira wrote? This provokes Light's intellectual pride, frustrating him as L gains a deeper understanding of his psyche. Ultimately, L's strategy allows him to achieve several objectives while losing very little. He pursues Light to join the task force on his terms, keeps a close watch on his primary suspect, and maintains psychological control. In contrast, Light loses his freedom, remains under constant pressure. The only thing Light gotten through this is L's face, which is useless if he doesn't get to know his name. Now the question many of you might have is, aren't all these just individual tactics? How can it be considered a strategy if it's simply a collection of unrelated tactics? Well, the thing is, each of the points I cover in this video contributes to the overall strategy. In this instance, we see all of L's tactics coming together to form a comprehensive approach. It would have been just a series of tactics if each move served a different purpose. But they don't. Each tactic strengthens the other. For example, take the tennis match. On paper, it might seem like it doesn't contribute to L's plan. However, it plays a role in exhausting Light, making it easier for him to slip off. If L hadn't played the tennis match with Light, the chances of Light making a mistake would have been much lower, as L is fully aware that Light is constantly thinking of ways to avoid suspicion. L revealing himself, the tennis match, and the notes all work together to serve the greatest purpose of self-revelation. L shielding against the possibility of being killed by Light when he revealed himself was rooted in his exceptional skill set in emotional perception and observational abilities, which allowed him to deduce facts about Light and profile him far more effectively through direct interaction rather than passive observation. This is yet another reason why L revealing himself and directly engaging with Light was so crucial, demonstrating the extent of L's tactical and strategic brilliance. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a pretty short one, but I hope you at least got the basic idea of the self-revelation strategy. If you have any suggestions for what you would like to see next, be sure to leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.